Hey, so how to do Z-depth compositing in Davinci Resolve using Blender, as well as a quick tilt shift example, which is what you can see here. So in the layers settings in a tab, make sure you've got Z-depth enabled and whatever other passes that you might want to use. OpenEXR, float, 16-bit is fine. You don't need anything higher really. Then once you've done a render, you can go over to render and view render and have a look at the combined to grab your passes to have a look at them. The depth one isn't much use because it's bright white, so you can't really see what's going on. So we'll have to put it into the compositor to have a look at it. So if you run it through a normalized node and then you mess with the color ramp, you can see how the color depth how the brightness of the color of the grayscale colors of the Z-depth can be used in compositing. So we're not using Blender, so we'll go into the Davinci Resolve and Fusion section. You can see here I've got media in 1_1 is the depth, Z-depth, and the other one is the combined image. So you can use the keys on one key to load in the image on the left, or the 2 key to load it in on the right. In this case I've got the brightness contrast loaded in on the left. You can see how I've adjusted the gain to get the Z-depth point that I'm looking for, basically. So you can use that to fine-tune the next couple of nodes to get the look that you want. So to grab nodes you do shift and space to search for the node that you want. So the brightness gets plugged into the change depth. That has to be 16-bit. The combined image also has to be 16-bit. That's the color diffuse channel that you can see there, and media in 1. That goes into the channel boolean, which has to you have to tick enable extra channels and then choose Z buffer and then pick the lightness channel, this one over here. Or you can use the others for other fun and interesting things too. In the color section you have to set operation to copy and red, green, blue, alpha to do nothing. So what this does is it creates a Z-depth pass which you can then use in the depth blur node here. Depth blur. So you select your blur channel and whatever filter type you want, and then you can adjust it using these settings. Each of these need to be adjusted to be able to get the look that you want. As you can see here, the foreground is currently blurred with the background far off in the distance, which is not really that far in the distance, but and then if you change it around again, you can swap the foreground with the background to change the focal position of the image. This isn't perfect, and if you actually looked at the Z-depth channel as you're doing it, you can see how it's not quite right. But you can. The cool thing about it is you can adjust the settings as you. If it's not quite the way that you want it to be in the render, you can use this to tweak it and make quite a considerable difference to the look of the image. Obviously you need your OCIO, color space, which I've gone over in the previous tutorials, and that goes into the media out. And that's pretty much it. Then without using the Z-depth, you can use we can create a tilt shift effect, which is what I've done in this example here. This one uses 2 background nodes, both of which get merged together and then blurred using the alpha channel, which is the blue line between the merge 2 and the box blur. So you can press the 1 key to load in the background on the left, and then the 2 key to load the media out on the right. Then, yeah, it's just a solid black color. If I go into the transform, press that, load that into the left with 1. That's the top transform there. Then that goes into a blur node, which obviously blurs that color so that you get more of the tilt shift look. Then that goes into the merge tool, which merges both of these backgrounds together, which then goes into using the alpha channel, the blue line, which is the blue line, into the box blur. So that will then blur the color diffuse from this media in, but only in the areas where the black background image is. So that alpha channel is very important in the box blur. Yeah, you can also, move things around. You could animate all this. You could do all kinds of things. This is a very simple, very basic example. So yeah, that's it. Again, if anyone's got any other better ways of doing this, especially with the Z depth, because I'm sure that there must be ways to improve that, to customize it a bit more. I feel like my method is a bit of a quick hack. So if anyone has any other suggestions, please do let me know. I'd love to hear it. Cheers.